Hey there, and welcome to my day. Today's video is intended for spoonies and people who care about spoonies, but if that's not you, it's okay, you're welcome to stay. In case you're not sure what a spoonie is, that is someone who, due to a chronic illness or multiple chronic illnesses, has trouble getting things done for energy purposes. If you were playing a video game, and no matter what you did, you could never max out your energy bar. You had to play with a energy deficit every single time you played. That's about the same thing. If that's you, if that's somebody you love, or if you just want to see how I get my chores done in a day, hang out. As I just barely mentioned, I'm going to take you with me today as I get some garden chores done, spoonie style. Back in January, I made a video called 6 Garden Practices for Spoonies, and I will link it at the end of this one. But I'm going to summarize them for you right now. Spend spoons on planning. Prioritize. Front load your work. Be willing to adjust. Group your plants. And please don't spill, schedule rest. I am a stay-at-home spoonie because right now my job is installing gardens and permaculture systems in this property. My future job is this. I'm really hoping that YouTube can take over as my future job so that I can build the life I want and help people with it and let you all come with me and do that together. You are not a stay-at-home spoonie. You can space this out. It doesn't have to be a day of doing chores. This can be broken up into a week or however you need to get it handled, and that is just fine. In fact, that is absolutely perfect if that's what works for you. Now, we already know that permaculture principle number 1 is observe and interact, right? So the first thing I do on a typical day is, with my second cup of coffee, which this is, I take a walk around and I check on the gardens. I observe, and then I make my task list and I prioritize so that I can interact. We got permaculture principle number 1, observe and interact, and we got garden practice for spoonies numbers 1 and 2, spend spoons on planning and prioritize. I am going to take a walk around. You are welcome to join me. We'll see what we see, and then when we're finished with this, we'll go inside and make my task list for the day. Sound good? One thing for my task list is that I need to pick strawberries today and get them into the fridge. I've been putting them all into a glass jar in the fridge, and that seems to be holding them pretty well. I have some coreopsis flowers over there. Need to be deadheaded, and some of the sage probably needs to be deadheaded. We had a really bad storm last night, and I need to do some cleanup from that. But I'm going to tell you more about that in a minute. That was wild. I noticed that my seedling table looks pretty empty. Here's this story. Let me pull up a seat. Around 5 o'clock this morning, I woke up due to loud noises and bright flashing, like you do when there's a thunderstorm. Normally, I just go back to sleep. Hard rain and constant thunder, that's good sleep weather. But, woo, sunlight. The lightning was non-stop, so I checked my phone. Storm with damaging hail, winds of 60 miles an hour, deluge, all of it. So I ran out here at 5 o'clock in the morning. I put my good heavy terry cloth robe by the back door. Pouring rain, looks like daylight 75% of the time because of the lightning. There's a bridge right there. It got struck. I saw it happen. Sparks. People that live right there, they got struck. And the people next door to them got struck. Weatherbug has a lightning map. You can see where the nearest strikes are. 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm out here running plants from this table back over there and darting out here and running back. And then a couple of times I started to run out and lightning would strike like close enough I could hear the sizzle, and I'd dart back under again and run back out, get a plant, run back in there. Task number 1 today, before I even go inside to make my list, is going to be to put all my seedlings back out on the seedling table. You might have noticed that I do walk on my beds. I do low disturbance no-till. and so my beds don't get compacted, which is a really nice thing about doing a no-till. Depending on your choices as far as tillage, chemicals, and all those kinds of things, you have to make your own decision on that. The comfrey is blooming. The bees will be so happy. Well, it looks like we got really lucky on the storm. There's some debris in some of the gardens, but there's no damage at all. That's wonderful. This makes me really excited. Beautiful comfrey blooms. Now we're to the point where I need to make my task list. So I need to harvest strawberries. That's going to be medium priority. I need to deadhead the coreopsis and the sage. That's also going to be medium priority. I need to pick up some debris. We'll call that high priority. Oh, I need to put my plants back on the table. That is super high priority. That's all the stuff that I saw like just from this walk today, and then I have a running list inside, so we'll check that before we make the master task list for the day. One task down. Tiny harvest. Still early in the year. So I have been inside, had lunch, taken a break because scheduling rest is one of the things that we do. And now I'm going to make my task list. I'm going to do 2 lists. One of them will be simple tasks, tasks that won't take long, won't take a lot of energy. Maybe they take a little more time, but they're not as demanding, or maybe they're more demanding, but they take a little less time. Less intense and more intense. These are going to be time-consuming, heavy effort, tracking stuff down the yard, that kind of stuff. So on the simple list, I kind of do this a little bit in a cheaterly way. When we were out earlier walking around, I went ahead and picked the strawberries, and I moved the plants back to the seedling table, and I picked up some of the debris from the storm, and I'm going to put those things on my list, and I'm going to mark them off because I did them, and the fact that I did them before I made the list shouldn't stop me from checking them off. Let's go ahead and make these 2 post-it lists and put them on the door, and then we'll pick a task and get started. So I make a master list first, and then I divide it up. So I have picked strawberries. And I did it. Move plants. I started it, so I can't cross it all the way off yet. Deadhead today. I need to feed the kitchen garden. And later, I'm going to put the chickens to bed. I'm going to do that every evening. And then the intents list. I need to mulch the kitchen extension where we had some bare spots and where the storm kind of blew some stuff around. I need to plant out those peppers and those tomatoes, some of them at least. I need to plant some basil. I put a star by this one because it's okay if I don't get to it today. I need to put hay way down at the blackberries, and that is going to be at chicken time. Other things are, if I can get to them, I need to pot up some of my seedlings, biggest ones first. Sheet mulch by the tomatoes. All right. Deplorable handwriting today. Sorry about that. From there, I just stick them on the door. That way, just as I'm running around the yard and doing whatever, they're right here and I can come check them, mark them off. That debris that's half finished, that's the way to start. So let's go do that. All right, I'm pretty sure that's stuff that just blew in from other gardens, but look, that was really quick, and that's one task we get to check off. Put small tasks on your list so you have something easy to check off. Next up is going to be deadheading the coreopsis, and then we'll scoot down and do the sage next. I did bring out my happy little clippers, but I'm not going to use them on the coreopsis. They pop off really easily. Deadheading helps because with anything that fruits or flowers, its goal in life is to make seeds and propagate itself. So if I let these flowers that are dead stay on here, the plant's going to think that it's finished. So I want to keep it producing. I did leave a dead flower on the far side over here because there was a good sized spider on it having a meal, and I didn't want to disrupt that. We'll let that spider have its meal, and that flower can come off the next time I deadhead, which I do every couple of days at this point in the year. Now we'll use my pruners on the sage because instead of just popping off the very top like we did on the coreopsis, we're going to come down here below where it's flowering, below the lowest flower, and cut the stem above a new leaf node. And I don't want to just pop that. I might break them and damage the plant. So I'm just going to come to any of them that are spent and come down to just above the leaf node, below the lowest flowers. I'm also going to pull off any damaged leaves because the plant doesn't need to put its energy into healing this when it's got so much more to do. Let's bring this to the chickens. Hello, babies. How's those chickens? Go get it. Hello, babies. That's my Tito. Hi, buddy. This is how he asked to come outside, but his fur holds on to everything. Isn't he cute? Okay, so there's another task off the list, right? Deadhead. Done. Not so bad. Should we go ahead and knock off the last simple task? Except for bedtime chickies, of course, because that's not until night. Or should I jump on one of the harder tasks? Yeah, okay. So I'm going to feed the kitchen gardens. They're going to get alfalfa meal and kelp meal. And then I'll decide if I have the energy to mulch. That's the plan. Okay. The alfalfa meal came from the feed store. It has nitrogen, a little phosphorus, and potassium. So that's going to be for leaf growth and fruits. And then the kelp, no nitrogen, no phosphorus, but it has potassium. And that's going to be for fruiting and flowering as well. The potassium also helps with root development. And I am going to go ahead and throw in some mycos. So let me get these done. Hey, so while I have you here, if you are not subscribed and you are enjoying this content or getting something out of it, would you mind please hitting subscribe and the like button? And also, would you please share this video or any of my other videos? I really need to grow my audience, and it would help me out a whole lot if you could share and like and subscribe. Thanks so much. So none of these are fertilizers that you can overdo. And the biggest danger with using alfalfa meal, from what I've read, is not using enough. Now you might be saying, well, McCary, you didn't work any of that in. And you're right, I didn't, because I am low disturbance, no till. That's all going to get watered in. It might rain again today, like we need it at this point. I need to check the rain gauge. Yeah, all that's going to get watered in. The soil life is going to turn it in. It's all going to get done. It's not going to be a problem. Take my messy hand and start on the kelp meal. Ooh, and I got alfalfa meal in my eye. And then the mycos. That was just messy. Otherwise, it was all great. If it doesn't rain again today, I'll water that in tomorrow. I was supposed to do compost tea as a foliar spray today, but I don't want to do a foliar spray and then have it rain again and rinse off. So I will plan that for tomorrow as well. I did not put it on my task list because I am expecting rain. I think I do have the energy to go ahead and mulch. It's just this one little area that needs to be mulched. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to take a break. Wet hay is as awesome as you thought it might be. I mulched. I'm gonna check that off. I don't exactly do Ruth Stout method, which is just putting down mass quantities of hay, or Back to Eden, which is putting down mass quantities of wood chip. If I'm doing a new garden that I may be planting into or refreshing a garden, I go Ruth Stout-ish. And then if I'm doing a garden that I won't be planting into for 6 months or more, I go Back to Eden-ish. Heavy hay mulch will break down, it'll feed soil microbiology, and it'll offer lots of insulation for the plants to keep their roots from getting too hot in the summer and to preserve their water for them. My physical energy feels fine, but I'm wearing down mentally. So I'm gonna take another break. I'm gonna go inside for a while. I will probably come out another time before chicken bedtime, but if not, I will for sure be out for chicken bedtime. And I want to get a little bit of that planting done for certain today. And I would really like to get the blackberry bed mulched today. So I'm going to make those to my 2 big goals for chicken time. And if I get out between now and then, I'll do something else. See you in a little while. Look. Yay! Okay, I'm getting tired. Waking up at 5 for the storm and being up from there wouldn't be a big deal, except that I'm a night owl and I made myself go to bed early last night, which was 1. So I've had 4 hours of sleep, so I'm a little tired. But we're gonna get some of these things knocked out. I have 1 determinate tomato plant I want to put in the ground in this cage. Can you see this cage? You will. And I want to get another poblano pepper in the ground and some basils. I'm gonna call it at that point, and then I'll do a little bit more at chicken dinner time. This tomato cage is made out of welded wire, coated welded wire. It's got 2x4 squares in it, and I'm going to zip tie it to some stakes, some bamboo stakes. All I did is I just bent like the one side around the other side, and not even on every one. I probably should come back with pliers and do more. That's what the tomato is going to grow in. Determinate tomatoes, remember that they grow all of their fruit like in one big push. So that is why I don't grow a whole lot of determinants. I know that I will not get through processing them all. So I usually grow indeterminates, but I do want to make like 1 batch of tomato sauce or 1 batch of salsa, like from 1 bush of determinants. So this is going to be the Rutgers that Katie, y'all met her on the garden tour, that she brought home from the feed store a couple of weeks ago. Let's get that in the ground. So I have cardboard down here that's not all the way broken down yet, so I'm gonna have to bust through the cardboard. And then remember that tomatoes can grow roots all along their stems, so it's gonna get planted deep. I'm not sure if this is the right thing to do with determinants, but I'm doing it. I'm gonna take off just a couple at the bottom, especially like, see this? This isn't going to absorb sunlight for the plant, so why have it? And then these are gonna be below the soil, so I'm gonna pop them off too. All right. And that. And it's already flowering, so it's not going to be long. Let me grab my soil. This stubborn puppy of a bag. I am using potting soil, not garden soil, just because I'm mad at the garden soil right now too. And I would put some down in here. And this is why I say low disturbance and not no disturbance, because I do dig holes to plant into because we haven't built a lot on top quite yet. Oof, that poor baby. And that was just a little mycos and a little kelp meal. Because it is so root bound, I just want to give those roots a little help. All right. Can you even see that load? This little branch down here is gonna come off too, because I'm just afraid it was going to be in the soil and I don't want it to pick up any kind of an illness or a bacteria or anything from touching the soil. Give it its cage back. And then, girl pants magic. They won't give us pockets, but we have waistbands. So as they grow, the plants, they can stick their arms out the holes and rest on the cage, and shabam, tomato cage that won't tip over, I hope. I want to give this a couple of basils, and then we'll go take care of the poblano and put a couple of basils over by it. Look, little baby basils. These are Genovese. You'll know I already checked that bag for spiders, right? After I got bit that one time, I definitely looked. All right, and I'm gonna do this purple ruffles because instead of being purple, it is speckly. Ooh, the underside's even better. I just want to see what this one's gonna do. All the other purple ruffles are purple, like all the way purple, like this dark opal. So I'm going to put these two in. We're going to pop over this way. Y'all don't know about this yet. In the garden tour, I told you that I had added a garden and I wasn't going to show it to you yet. It's not much to look at because it's all little baby plants, but we're about to go plant in it right now. Let's go over here. Surprise! I planted a new garden. There's 3 pepper plants, and then we have a little baby moringa tree. Those can get 40 feet tall, but they freeze. 10, 15 feet maybe by the end of the summer. Part of that pineapple mint, the one that I split. And then we have some different basils. There's some buckwheats and cosmos. And I put some ginger on the side, but they're not up yet. So I'm gonna get this other poblano in here. On peppers, I go the other way. I don't plant them deep. They can grow roots on their stems, but not as well as tomatoes. But if I top it, it's going to grow a lot more branches and produce more fruit. I tested that theory last year and it does work. There we go. Beheaded. There we go. Woo. I thought I lost my poking stick. All right, I'm gonna do a Genovese. There's a lettuce leaf right here, there's a cardinal there, and a lemon there. Should we do a dill? It's not the best poking stick ever. All right, here's some mammoth dill. And let's do another one. Cilantro? Should we? We should. Let's do it. This is quadruplets. Cilantro really hates having its root disturbed, so I am not going to split them. They can grow up like this. That's going to do it for me for right now. I'm going to go inside and get some rest, and I'll come back out at chicken dinner time, and we're going to mulch a garden, and I think that's going to be it. By the way, after all that horrible soil stuff, look, aren't they pretty? They're so big and happy. I've already potted up the biggest ones. Much better. See you at chicken dinner time. Hello, baby birdies. Do you want to play? Is it playtime? Yeah. The birds are going to have their free time. They're going to look for worms and bugs and things. And I said I was gonna put hay on that one garden, but now I have to add chicken dishes to my task list. So I'm gonna do that and then we'll see about the hay. I'm pretty tired, I am worn down. So this is part of the be willing to adjust your plan thing. Let's go do some dishes. Isn't she pretty? You pretty, Paprika. Yes, you are, girl. All right. Oh, you know what? Maybe this isn't a hair down activity. Okay. I already put hot water and soap in there in case you're wondering. All did. I'm gonna go ahead and mulch that garden because I was supposed to do that in December. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get it over with. I feel up to it. I just don't feel like it. And it's been staring at me for a really long time. So I'm just gonna get it done. So all I need to do is load it up in the bucket and take it down there and dump it on the cardboard. This is not a thing that should take me 6 months, but here we are. Right. I'll see you down there. So many very angry ants. Okay, we did it. We did the 2-minute job that took 6 months. Ants are jerks. I don't like ants. But that's done. That task is done. That's gonna be it. Chore-wise, I gotta get these babies to bed. I'm gonna fix them a salad under their dinner and get them back in their coop. Let's do that and then we're finished. Come on. Oh, what a good girl. You beat me in here. Oh, girl. Come on, babies. Oh, you're such good chickens. You're such good chickens. Girls. Great. Eat them more, babies. Be good babies. All right, y'all. That's going to do it. I'm beat. I will put that garden practices for Spoonie's video up for you. I'll catch you next time.